visitors. We're happy to be here, and let's get this started. Welcome to Speech Night for Miss Wheelchair America 2019, where we have been cultivating and empowering elite advocates with disabilities. This evening will give us a glimpse into the lives of incredible state title holders who represent more than 56 million Americans with disabilities. The 26 women who we hear from tonight have traveled across the country to share with us their platforms, which are the cause that are near and dear to their heart and what they're most passionate about regarding the disability community. They will tell us how they intend to share their message if chosen to be Miss Wheelchair America 2019. Sorry about the page turn. This evening's speeches are both judged and timed. Our esteemed judges are charged with the really difficult task of critiquing our title holders' ability to convey their message with a delivery that is poised, poignant, and powerful. Tonight, we have a total of 9 judges who will be scoring the platform speeches. First, we have our main judging panel, who will be scoring, who have been with the contestants all week long. Our main judging panel includes David Winandy, Lucia Duchette, Lucia Rios, Bruce Sickler, and Kate Q. Walters. Yes, we've had probably the hardest job this week. You'll learn more about them tonight, and in addition, we're pleased to welcome, for guest judges, only for tonight, we have Dr. John Butzer from Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital. Next we have, Next we have Tara Hernandez from the Gerald Ford International Airport. Joan Sakia from the Sakia Family Foundation. And we're also rounding out our guest judges with Kathy Yerrick. Kathy represents one of our sponsors, the Mary Free Bed Guild, so let's give Kathy a round of applause. Tonight is sure to be inspiring and enlightening, and I know that these ladies are ready to get up here on stage, so let's not keep them waiting any longer, right girls? Yeah. Yes, hurry, I know. At the end of the evening, be sure to vote for your favorite speech and return your ballot to one of the volunteers that are standing outside of the doors of the ballroom. Right now, I'd like to bring up my new friend, Meg Voss, who's going to sing for us. Meg is a volunteer from Frontline Bible Church. You want to come on up, Meg? Let's give Meg a round of applause. thank our current title holder, Sherry Melander Smith, for being here. And I know it's probably very bittersweet, but thank you so much for what you do for our community. We've also asked our ladies to bring a companion, a friend, or a volunteer with them on stage tonight. These ladies have a lot of people who support them, so we wanted to give them an opportunity to include a very small but important piece of that support system. So let's just give a really quick round of applause for their companions. And also, do you need Kleenex? Because if you're wearing eyeliner, especially, you're going to need Kleenex. And I have a little friend around here who's selling Kleenex for $1, and it's going to be your only opportunity to get Kleenex. And I guarantee you, at least one tear will fall from your eye, I promise. So make sure you get your Kleenex from our little friend over here. Raise your hand, Kleenex friend. Where's the Kleenex at? There she is. Make sure you catch her before we start. Okay. So the order of the platform speeches tonight will be in reverse alphabetical, beginning with Miss Wheelchair Washington, Stacy Lee. Stacy is from Lake Bay, Washington, and describes herself as funny, witty, and adventurous. One more round of applause for Stacy.
Hello, everyone. This is my companion, John Lee. He's my best friend, my caregiver, and I'm lucky enough to call him my husband. By the way, that's not fair to sing that song and then have me have to talk, so I'm a mess. Here we go. So my platform is caregiver support and supporting our caregivers. I was having a really rough time starting this speech, and about 3 weeks ago, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and we've been up all night and had a really rough night full of pain. My poor husband had been probably up 10 times getting medicine, hot water bottles, sitting me up, laying me down, rubbing my back, just anything to help just take my mind off the pain. And that's when I said, this is what the world needs to see. What these people give of their lives just to take care of the people that they love. Oh, this is harder than I thought. So these sacrifices that our caregivers are giving, I feel like there's no way we can repay them, even if we started now. This poor man is exhausted. He's watching his wife hurt and cry for him because he's the only one that can help make me feel better. After getting to the point where I was needing a caregiver full time, we went to the state to ask to be and apply to make him be my full-time caregiver. You know what they said? They told us to get a divorce. They explained that any family member, any friend, any person on the street could take the place, but not my husband. The one person that knows me the best. After asking the state employee for a better explanation, she said, "You are the one that said in sickness and health and death do us part." Washington is not alone. Less than a quarter of the United States allows a disabled person to not choose completely who they need as a caregiver. Do we move to another state? Do we move away from our family and friends and that's the only rest that he has? If chosen as Miss Wheelchair America, my local fight will become a national fight, advocating for the freedom of choice. We also need to acknowledge all that our caregivers do with living wages and better training and resources. This disease has taken many things from me, but my husband will not be one of them. I love you, John Lee.
Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Virginia Gail Newell. Gail is from Lexington, Virginia, and describes herself as independent, stubborn, and compassionate. I told you it was a hard job. Judge is not. So while we're waiting, I've been through this before too, and let me tell you, it's not easy. So let's just give one more round of applause to all these contestants. Who I know are really exhausted and super excited for this week, but you guys are great. What you do across our nation is definitely needed, especially now, so I thank you. And I would like to ask one thing, that you all save our straws, please. If anyone gets that, they're trying to take my house in California, I'm sorry. Are we ready, judges? All right, one more time. Let's hear it for Miss Wilshire, Virginia, Gail Newell.
Thank you. And tonight I have Stephanie here with me. Stephanie has been my companion, my caregiver, and she just didn't know what to think because she had never taken care of anybody in a wheelchair before. And so I had to be on my A game and make sure that I didn't scare her away. And I just want to thank you so much, Stephanie, for being my friend too. And I love you. I would like to take this time out to talk about the ED/CD waiver. I hope everyone here is familiar with this waiver program. If you're not, it's the Elderly, Disabled, and Consumer Directed. Independent is what I like to call it, waiver program. This program allowed me, after going through an agency of 29 aides, that had no clue what they were doing with me. And they thought coming in and taking care of me was sitting and looking on your phone. No. I had to learn how to get in the bed, how to get out of the bed, how to talk again. I couldn't even talk on my own. I lived my life with a sippy cup. And they said, this is the way you're gonna be. I said, oh no, you got the wrong one here, honey. Sorry. And I just refused to give in. And I was very fortunate enough to become involved with Valley Associates of Independent Living, which is out of Harrisonburg. And they gave me that choice back again. They gave me that voice. And I will never, ever forget the feeling of feeling so free. And once again, I had to give in a lot. And I lost a lot with this accident. But I will never, never give in to anyone and let them tell me what I'm supposed to wear, when I'm supposed to wear it, and where I'm gonna go, and when I can open my mouth, and when I can't. That just will not happen. And I'm very sorry. I'm not going to apologize for it either, because I'm very bold sometimes, and I can be very outspoken. I serve on our disability board, and I am so grateful and so happy to say I can go and kiss these people's feet, because it's the city council that voted me in. And I said, if you want a yes person, you have the wrong person here. So now I would like to tell you that if I am appointed to Miss Wheelchair America and voted, I'm going to do everything in my power to let other women know that you can live your life at home. You can live your life with choices. You can make decisions. Don't ever settle for less, because if you do, then you're allowing someone else to rule and take over your life, and they don't have that right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilshire, Virginia, Gail Newell. I'd also like to take this time to remind everybody that these contestants made what we call platform boards, and they're out in the lobby, out to the door to your right. So if you leave today and you have a little bit of extra time, please stop over there. They worked really hard on them. You get to know a little bit more about the girls through the boards. It's a great tradition, and I highly recommend it. Next up, we have Miss Wheelchair Texas, Angel Arredondo. Angel is from San Marcos, Texas, and describes herself as confident, loving, and strong.
This is my companion, my loving husband of 10 years, Iman. Imagine going into the first day of school as a disabled child at 4 or 5 years old. That's the first time that you notice that you are completely different from everyone else. Imagine the rest of that day figuring out how to do things on your own when you simply can't and you need the assistance. That happened to me. But my elementary school principal, Henry Hone, who has passed away, decided to get me a red wagon. And that offered me the mobility and the freedom I needed to be as a successful friend, a student, and I was able to do whatever I needed to do to make a great day and study the way I needed to. I wrote a book about it, and it's called I Love My Red Wagon. And that red wagon changed my life. It was the greatest thing that anyone could have ever given me. It made me the woman I am today. I am a mother and of a 24-year-old, and it really helped to make me strong and independent. Now imagine a day that child has the opportunity to be able to do what everybody else does with small assistance, but have the confidence and the strength to become a successful student and a responsible, independent adult in their own community. That's what I am. And as Miss Wheelchair America, I will try my best to strive so that every child has the same opportunity that I did. Thank you.
I'd like to take an opportunity to again thank Mary Freebed for being a sponsor for Miss Wheelchair Michigan and Miss Wheelchair America. Our next two pageants will be held in Arkansas. Where's Pam?
Right here.
And Pam, our local state coordinator, will be spearheading those two pageants. So we'll be in Arkansas the next 2 years, and we'll be back in Michigan after that. So we hope to see everyone here again as well. Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Tennessee, Lindsay Becker. Lindsay is from Franklin, Tennessee, and describes herself as compassionate, outgoing, and passionate.
I'm joined by my amazing husband, or we say awesome husband because it's in his name, or his name's in the word. And yeah, he's a disabled veteran, and I'm really, really proud of him. And he kind of became the computer guru and the wheelchair minister for the week. So, yeah. We all face challenges. As a woman living with spina bifida, I face my own unique challenges. Without resources like the Miss Wheelchair Tennessee organization and online communities, I wouldn't be where I am today. Growing up, I was given so many amazing opportunities to be exposed to others with disabilities facing similar challenges. These opportunities helped me discover and understand my own limits, helped teach me compassion, and it allowed me to connect with so many different people and situations. And more importantly, it helped me discover my own abilities. It helped me realize that I'm not alone, I can thrive, and I can find my own way to shine. If it weren't for programs like Able Youth and Easter Seals, I might not have known that there were other resources out there that could also help me when I was faced with the new challenge of being diagnosed with thyroid cancer in 2013. Living with spina bifida hasn't always been easy, but the resources, support, and lessons that I've gained have given me the tools to tackle the unique circumstance of having a disability and being given a life-changing diagnosis. They've shaped me into who I am today and have been extremely valuable to my personal and emotional growth. More importantly, though, they've really helped me just shine, and I really wouldn't be who I am without those resources. Anyway, as Miss Wheelchair Tennessee, I've been given amazing opportunities to have so many amazing opportunities to meet people and across the state, and I want to continue doing that as Miss Wheelchair America. I want to help others find their own way to shine, and I want to be a resource to others. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Wheelchair Tennessee Lindsay Becker. Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Rhode Island, Tina Pedersen. Tina is from Lincoln, Rhode Island, and describes herself as determined, outgoing, and full of life.
Hi, everybody. This is my sister Karen, who has been graciously taking 2 weeks out of work to come with me and drive down here and be my support, and I couldn't do this week without her, so thank you, Karen. Sometimes when I dream, I'm a walker. Other times, I'm a wheeler. But always in my dreams, I'm just somebody who wants to be included. As a 4-time cancer survivor, I'm no stranger to facing adversity. During my battles, I went from being a walker to a wheeler in just a matter of hours. Although these struggles have taught me to navigate the world differently, they have also made me the mother and fighter I am today. I no longer worry about issues beyond my control, and I've learned to live with purpose and without regret. Perhaps heaven just isn't ready for me, and hell's afraid I'm going to take over. They leave me right here to make a difference. After being crowned Miss Wheelchair America, after being crowned Miss Wheelchair Rhode Island, I became a member of the Governor's Commission on Disability. With this seat, I have already secured the first accessible vote for water fire, which is a big thing in our state. I have activated a lot of businesses to become ADA compliant and retrofitted for all disabilities. My future goals, every business and every beach to be compliant and acceptable and include us. We need to be included. In the fall, I was invited to meet the president and speak to the House on accessibility, stronger ADA laws, and how we can accomplish this in our great nation. If crowned Miss Wheelchair America, I'm going to promote accessibility all over, not only our country, but the world, hopefully, because we need to be included. We're very important. I may have lost the ability to walk, but I discovered a determination deep within me that keeps me going. With that, we need to empower each other. No matter our differences, we are all the same. Whether we walk or we wheel, we are all the same. We all deserve a society where no one is denied or ignored. If you were in my shoes tomorrow, how would you react? Wouldn't you all want the same opportunities afforded to everybody else? Inclusion should be a reality, not a dream. Thank you.
Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Pennsylvania, Barb Zablocki. Barb is from Windward, Pennsylvania, and describes herself as persistent, outgoing, and unique.
Sorry. Hey everyone. I hope you all are having a great evening. This is my sister Marsha. I'm not going to get too much emotional details. I just like her a lot, and I thank her for putting up with me all week. So thank you. I love you. Since becoming permanently paralyzed over a decade ago, I've learned that we, Americans with disabilities, still have a way to go when dealing with ignorance and stereotypes that have been placed on us. Here's just a few quick examples. Being told, you don't look disabled. I guess this brightly colored wheelchair doesn't give them a clue. Or being told, you're so pretty. It's a shame you're in a wheelchair. Really, just look at all these amazing women that are in this room tonight. This sisterhood is squashing that stereotype completely. But the ultimate question is this. How can we change this ignorance and these stereotypes? As Miss Wheelchair America 2019, I will use what I will refer to as my Rainbow Platform, which is an acronym for Rallying Against Ignorance Now Benefits Others with Disabilities. First, I would work with legislators to assure that they are properly educated on laws that affect people with disabilities. Second, I would work with the media any way that I would be able to assure that Americans are properly educated overall. Since working with the media in my area locally, there has been a shift in how people have been treated with disabilities. Imagine the potential for change on a larger scale. And third, I would also work with the schools. I would assure that the schools would have a disability education day so that students can learn about disability of all types. I would also encourage them to create an inclusion barrier course so that students can try to get through barriers using different types of adaptive equipment. These children are our future leaders, and if they don't get the proper perspective hands-on, they'll never know. Lawmakers, media, social media, and schools, these are my personal solutions to my rainbow. Rallying Against Ignorance Now Benefits Others with Disabilities. Thank you.
I see fumes, I see flames coming from the judges' pens, which only means one thing. This is really tough. And thank you all for being here and doing this really difficult job, but we are grateful that there is somebody to do it. So, moving on. Next we have Miss Wheelchair North Carolina, Michaela Creef. Michaela is from Marans Harbor, North Carolina, and describes herself as selfless, outgoing, and ambitious.
Hey y'all, this is my mama Anna, and she is my best friend. She's been here putting up with me all week. Thank you, Mom. So, my platform to advocate for the disability community is simply educating. Educating, most importantly, the upcoming generations. I believe starting young is where it all comes from. I believe if kids grow up knowing all about disabilities, then there would be no problem. There would be no ignorance in the world for people that are disabled. So I believe that's where it should start. I would like to go around and show kids that I'm just like other people. I play sports, I have fun, and I go on and on. But I think it starts on an individual level. I believe we should tap into what keeps us going and fight and just keep going. I think that we need to come together and unite to have our voices heard. As a wheelchair community, we need to push away from thinking of ourselves as victims and come together as victors. I believe that is the most important, and that comes from the inside and goes on to others and each other. And it shows to little kids We need to be role models, literally role models for young children, and I think that's where it all begins. But I believe, most importantly, that it should start from a younger education. So I think as Miss Wheelchair America, I will do my best to make it in every school possible and show them that I can be just like others. You can be beautiful, you can be outgoing and athletic and have fun and have a family and do all things everyone else does. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wheelchair, North Carolina, Taylor Reed. So I heard that there was a circus night and people were jailed. Did that happen? And nobody invited me. I'm very, very upset. Next time, make sure you invite me. Pretty much just guess why I brought it up. So I don't know. Next, we have Miss Wheelchair New York, Katrina Hazel. Give her a round of applause. Katrina is from Brooklyn, New York, and she describes herself as peaceful, ambitious, and a problem solver.
Hi everyone. Today I brought my mom to be my companion with me today. Thank you. When I was going to school, I wasn't included in school trips or in activities. I was often separated from my other peers and from my school community. So for the past 18 years, I struggled to be included in the school community and get to know others and also find my voice because I didn't know how people would accept me in school or in the community. During my year being Miss Wheelchair New York, I met with the school superintendent of the Brooklyn District 19 schools and asked could I celebrate disability awareness. He said yes, it'll be rolling out in this coming school year calendar. Children and students with disability must have an equal rights to be included and share their talents and abilities and learning style with others. We all need to remember to give those with differences a chance to shine and develop a voice. Embrace unity, acceptance, love, learning, and appreciate differences. Today I will read you a poem that I wrote highlighting some of the important works of inclusion. It's called Inclusive to Include. Inclusion to include and for needing each other, see for connect, love and learn. U for unique and S for support in school and to develop self-advocacy and self-determination. I for impossible to possibilities. V for voice to vision and E for equality to empowerment. E for education to be educated. D for differences. U for university to be in the classroom. C for classrooms to student councils for students with disabilities. A for awareness to access. T for teach. I for innovation. O for opportunities to be open to other students. N for new connections. And for A for acceptance to abilities to advocacy. And N for, of course, non-violence such as bullying. D for differently able to determination. C for community. O for opportunities. M for mission. M for meetings. U for unity. And the necessary action is what stands for N. I for because I believe all students with disabilities should have the proper transition program in their schools so we can live a bright future after we graduate high school. T for transition and U for youth, because I would love to educate the youth and bring disability awareness to everyone in the community as well as school. If I win Miss Wheelchair America, I would like to bring disability awareness to all communities and local schools everywhere in America. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson, New York, Katrina Hazel. Awesome job. That's great. Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair New Jersey, Kathy Ford. Kathy is from Egg Harbor Township and describes herself as an advocate, an inspirational person, and a motivational person.
I'd like to introduce my husband, Chuck Ford. I know a lot of you don't know me, but he has a lot to put up with, so he needs an extra round of applause. Wonder. As a kid, you wonder what life will be like when you grow up. Never do you hear about a kid who wonders about growing up to have a disability. For me, I didn't have to wonder. After a misdiagnosis at a young age, I was correctly diagnosed with fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva. It affects 800 people worldwide. FOP causes extra bone to form over muscles, tendons, and ligaments. It freezes the body into human stature. To fast forward a few years, I graduated with a BA in communications, landed my dream career as a 911 dispatcher with the Atlantic City Police Department, got married, became a homeowner, and most importantly, I'm an advocate for people with disabilities. As Miss Wheelchair New Jersey 2018, I've had the opportunity to raise awareness about FOP, the Miss Wheelchair America program, as well as my platform. Don't Block the Spot is an awareness and educational approach for lawmakers, law enforcers, and the general public to understand the importance of accessible parking spaces. I believe that it would be much more effective to make all accessible parking spaces 132 inches wide to allow those who need room on either side of their vehicle to park accordingly without having to park on the hash mark areas designated for wheelchair users. Smaller hash mark areas and smaller accessible parking spots make it increasingly more and more difficult to get in and out of one's vehicle, especially in inclement weather. When I become Miss Wheelchair America 2019, I will not only continue to raise awareness about FOP, the Miss Wheelchair America program, as well as my platform, but I'll be sure to continue to aim, achieve, inspire, and motivate. And this is where I go blank. So to finish up, as a kid, I may have wondered what my purpose in life was, but as an adult, I am well aware that my purpose in life is to become an advocate for people with disabilities. The only thing I wonder now is what's next.
Give the judges a little bit of time. No rush, I'm not rushing. Miss Wheelchair America is a nonprofit, and I remember being a board member, which was some of the favorite years of my life. And we worked really hard annually to put this pageant on. So let's give a really big round of applause to all of our board members. We rely on generosity of organizations and private donors to keep this program going, and this program is much needed completely changes the lives of contestants and people who come to every pageant. So thank you guys for being here as well and supporting. Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Nevada, Pat Sibrick. Pat is from Las Vegas, Nevada, and describes herself as talkative, kind, and helpful.
Nothing happened.
I forgot to pack long slacks in the shirt for my husband. But I think he's sexy in shorts anyways. My oldest. Thank you. Richard Screw, the love of my life. Took me long enough to find him, and I hope I can live long enough to enjoy him forever. My phone, when my phone rings, it says, "Who are you?" Well, I'm many people wrapped into one. When I was born, the doctors had a label for me. I was not capable of living, period. I was to be thrown out. Guess what? My mom and my dad did not agree. So I was born with an open high lesion on my back, which a lot of us know as spinal bifida. So mom and dad picked me up, took me home, and started phoning. And they did find someone that did that crucial surgery that made me live, or that helped me to live. It was really my parents. They're fantastic people. But you know, I started being just a kid. I became a kid, and I was called Pat. That was my name, and I played baseball, and I played everything else. Now, I was not very good at running because I didn't run. But we always had someone on the team that would run for me because, you know, I could bat pretty good. So the kids on the block called me Patty. That's the name of me. And then I started school, and my mother, my wonderful mother, got her his nickname also. It wasn't a nice nickname, but she went in and insisted that I be put in a regular classroom, not a special classroom. Just because my legs didn't work didn't mean my mind didn't work. And she was called Pushy. On to high school. High school was a challenge. It wasn't the math or the English or anything like that, but it had 2 stories. And they could not move the lab downstairs for me. So what their reasonable accommodation was, we picked 2 high school boys off the football team, and they carried me up the stairs when I needed to be upstairs and down the stairs when I needed to be downstairs. I had a girlfriend, and she really liked carrying my books on those trips. So I finished high school with my friends. And then I went on to teachers college. Decided that's what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to teach. Maybe I'd be a good teacher. I finished teachers college. The one thing that I could do better than anyone else in teachers college, believe it or not, I had to take phys ed. Day we learned how to chin ourselves. I was the only one in the class that could do it. My legs weren't real strong, but my arms sure were. So on we go. I finished teachers college, and I decided, you know, a lot of people think I can't teach, so I'm going to go out and teach. So I did. I went out and I got a job, and the gentleman that hired me, I'll never forget, hired me just as after I had had surgery, and my leg was in a sling, you know, hanging down. And he came in the morning, you know how in a hospital in the morning, you're not at your best. But he hired me. He took a chance. And I succeeded at that. I got married. And we both fought. And the one thing I was missing, I knew was I wanted children. Well, when you've got a spine that comes through your stomach, you're not going to have biological children. I care. I wanted children. So we adopted a 3-month-old baby. It was wonderful. And I did things the way I could do my things. I had it all worked out. I didn't do everything that maybe someone else would do. You know, you have to go to the bedroom to change the child. No, you grab a diaper and go to the kid. So that's how I raised my kids. I ended up with 4. And they're great. And I'm just mom to them. They're not hard up about calling me and saying, Mom, what do I do now with this? Mom, what do I do now with that? After they were all off to college or to jobs, I moved down to New Orleans and got a job down there as an advocate for the disabled, a job I loved. And soon, within a year or so, I don't know how or why, but suddenly I was also the director of transportation. So I got to do all my advocacy work, and I got to run all the buses, all the paratransit buses, all the regular buses, and it was busy. I did get some extra staff, so I was thrilled about that. And then one day I was at the mall having lunch, and I met this man. And that was it. I was gone. There was this man who had moved out from California. He'd broken his neck a couple times, but he walked. And he talked. And he was wonderful. And you met him already. And so we decided we're getting married in Las Vegas. And that's what we did. And we moved to Las Vegas. Once we got here, I worked here for the transit in Las Vegas, which was a lot of fun. For 3 months I was the ghost rider. I got to report on all the things that they did or did not do on wheelchairs. It was really exciting. Then I had a slight stroke and I decided it was time for me to retire. I was excited about winning Miss Wheelchair Nevada, and I would love to win Miss Wheelchair America. But either way, I would continue on my way advocating or being seen. Sometimes if you're seen, that makes a difference in the world. When they saw me and my husband going up the escalator at one of the big hotels on the Strip, the policeman yelled at us. And he said, "You can't do that." And so my husband calmly, just kind of as he held the chair, turned to him and said, "Oh, okay, when we get to the top, we'll turn around and climb down." Well, we didn't, because the policeman said, "No, don't come back down until after the concert." Recently, we found out that we are expecting, well, I'm not expecting, but we're expecting a great-grandchild. And found out the other day it's going to be a little girl. She is due, actually, on my birthday, December the 20th, where I will be 70. And so I'm 70 years older than my granddaughter. But I just like to get out, be seen, over a few toes, but they have to move, come on. Love my husband, be with him forever, and take what comes, what will be, will be.
Thank you, Ms. Wheelchair Nevada. Pat Secret. This has been a really, really awesome week for the girls. As somebody who's been through it as well myself, I think one of my favorite things about being a title holder in this program is the sisterhood that you come to when you come to Miss Wheelchair America. So I hope that you all have made some lifelong friendships. I know that I have, and I hope that you all keep in contact with each other and just relish in the sisterhood. So let's give a round of applause for sisterhood this weekend. Next, we have Miss Wheelchair Mississippi, Summer Prestridge. Summer is from Weston, Mississippi, and describes herself as ambitious, compassionate, and courageous.
I would like to thank my companion Troy, my boyfriend. I couldn't have done this week without you. Thank you. So the platform that I chose is to live unashamed, and I emphasize that dash. Imagine as you were walking in here today that you suddenly felt a weakness in your foot. You go to the doctor next week to try to figure out what's going on. After many tests, you hear you have a terminal illness. You're given 2 to 5 years to live. You're told to go home, quit your job, and enjoy your children. This happened to me, and it included 3 letters, ALS. I lived my life before ashamed of having to fit in, having to be perfect. We live a life that we think we have to have the perfect Facebook post. We have to have the perfect meal post to post on our Instagram. And we have to show that life is perfect to everyone. This made me very ashamed of my wheelchair. I didn't want other mothers to pity me or to think she's sick. I really struggled with getting in the chair when the time came. And it took my daughter saying, "Mom, why did we not go to that football game?" And I quickly realized that not only did it affect me, but it affected them. From that day, I chose to live unashamed, that I would embrace the chair and I would allow it to empower me. I want you to imagine now that you're walking through a cemetery and you see the headstones. You see the date that people were born and you see the date that they died. We can't control either one of those dates, but what we can control is that dash in the middle. And that's what I want to encourage every one of you, is to live your life, to live it unashamed, and to live your dash. Thank you.
Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Minnesota, Shannon Banky. Shannon is from Marietta, Minnesota, and describes herself as outgoing, loving, and smart.
This is my husband of 15 years, Chad. Meow is the Chinese word for hello. When I researched options for the potential of walking again, I found stem cells. This is why I went to China. Stem cells were, and still are, not completely legal in the United States. Stem cells have the ability to regenerate dead cells. I not only went to China once, but twice. I wanted to walk again, but as you can see, that did not happen. But what did happen is this. I received 12 injections, in my 2 trips to China, I received 12 injections of adult stem cells that were injected into my spinal cord. I did intense physical therapy in China. When I arrived home, I had 2 long leg braces made. I was able to take steps with a walker. I developed quad muscle growth and some movement in my toes. With hard work and dedication, my previously long leg braces were shortened to knee height, where eventually I only needed 1 leg brace on my right leg and I could stand on my left. Stem cells are multifaceted. A small change in a person's mobility is life-altering. I wanted to talk on an individual and community-wide basis about the importance of stem cells. I want to challenge our government and our government officials, our hospitals, and educate everybody on the potential of stem cells. This is why I want to become Miss Wheelchair America 2019. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Wheelchair. Ms. Shannon, thank you. I know this chair is going to be really loud because we've got a hometown girl coming up, but let's give a big round of applause and welcome Miss Wheelchair Michigan, Becky Wheeler. Becky is from Vermontville, Michigan, and describes herself as clever, motivated, and a person of integrity.
This is my wonderful husband, Kevin, and he is my rock. Benjamin Franklin once said, there are two, no, I'm going to be losing it already, shall we? There are two famous quotes. Benjamin Franklin once said, there are two famous guarantees in life. It's taxes and death. While I'm sitting here today, let's talk about taxes. I received a property tax bill in the mail that I felt was wrong. It should be easy to resolve. But like many small towns across America, our township office was not accessible. I called the office several times to solve the issue. They were unwilling to help. So to this day, I'm still dealing with an unresolved property tax issue. Like many small towns, I can't do it. So my baby. However, like many small towns across America, our township office is not accessible. I called multiple times to solve the issue, and they were unwilling to help with this matter and insist that I come in. To this day, I have an unresolved tax issue. The really sad part about this, without a doubt, there are countless of others across America dealing with the same frustrations. The ADA law has been in effect for 28 years. What are they waiting for? It's not just the law, it's the right thing to do. I have the faith that someone someday will make a difference and make all buildings accessible to all people. With that concern, I feel that I am that person. With the accomplishments that I've already made, despite accomplishment I have already made, I know it will not be easy, but I believe that the ramp that is the hardest to climb is the most rewarding. Sitting here, rolling around with my faith and determination, I will continue to advocate those in need. I will continue to disrupt the status quo. And with all your help, I will continue as the next Miss Wheelchair America to work very hard. Thank you.
Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Massachusetts, Victoria Sousa. Victoria describes herself as determined, compassionate, and friendly.
Good evening, this is my mom Marjorie, and I couldn't have made it through this week without her. Love you. So growing up near Boston, Massachusetts, in my opinion, one of the best sports towns in the country, I've had the amazing opportunity to see some amazing sports and have that be a large part of the culture and the community of the culture I've grown up in. Thankfully, I've also had the opportunity to be an equally involved in amazing adaptive sports, which is what I've chosen as my platform. As Miss Wheelchair Massachusetts 2018, I've had the amazing opportunity to speak with youth and young adults and people of all ages about the benefits of adaptive sports. And most people think, when they think of adaptive sports, they think of the physical benefits of the exercise, of the movement. But what I have found has been even greater, and it's been an amazing community. I started, so my earliest memories include playing wheelchair basketball, and I'm currently playing wheelchair tennis, and getting to speak with some amazing young adults in a variety of walks of life, with being united under one common passion of sports, and having that be what unites us. That no matter what our limitation, perceived or actual, that through adaptive sports, we can all accomplish great things. And as Miss Wheelchair America, I would work to bring adaptive sports to all communities, regardless of their resources and their current or perceived access. Thank you.
Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Maryland, Chelsea Stanton. Chelsea is from Glenwood, Maryland, and describes herself as spunky, outgoing, and passionate.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Janice, my awesome mom, who puts up with me with my, spiciness, who's driven me to basketball games and everything, and been there for me. So thank you. So my platform is all about inclusion, full inclusion. I'm so passionate and overwhelmed by inclusion, full inclusion, that actually I made it my career. I am advocating for full inclusion in all aspects of life, in the classroom, and on the playground, recreationally and socially. Thanks to the ADA, we have rights, yeah, but there still exist some differences between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. You know what I mean. And I will always fight for the spirit of the law. I always have, since I was young, this big, when I was born. When I enter something as a restaurant that has a ramp, in the back door, we have to go travel around the ramp and go around into the kitchen and back behind to this squeeze in between the oven and to get to the door. I don't feel included. I don't feel included, and I also feel like a burden, like I'm not supposed to be there, like I'm not wanted. The restaurant follows the letter of the law. Sure, I can get into the restaurant, but it definitely does not follow the spirit of the law. As an inclusion companion, my job is to make it sure the children that I work with are not just playing alongside the typical children, but fully involved in the fun and the games. As Miss Wheelchair Maryland, as Miss Wheelchair America, I will work for including people with disabilities in all the fun and games of life. Thank you.
Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Louisiana. Karen from Baton Rouge, Louisiana describes herself as optimistic, tenacious, and compassionate.
Good evening, everyone. This is my boyfriend, Roy. He has been not just through this week, but this entire year. I couldn't have done it without him, so thank you. No, sorry.
Sorry. No. And go.
My platform is Stand for Life, which may sound a little funny, coming from a girl who can't walk, can't stand into a room full of people who also use wheelchairs. But it's got several meanings to me. I was shot in armed robbery when I was 19, which was 31 years ago, and yes, that means that I'm 50, as of last week. So when I first went to rehab, I saw all sorts of equipment that I could get my hands on. So standing frames and braces and an electrical stem bicycle, and I wanted all of it. I realized pretty early on that using those forms of technology that were available in 1987 were my key to staying healthy. And I was right, because after 31 years in the chair, I've never had a wound, I've never had a contracture or a fracture. And my mission as Miss Wheelchair America would be to make sure that everyone has technology that has been readily available and improves all the time, to have access to it. Our job to stand up for our rights to have these things that are considered by the medical community, by legislators and lawmakers as not medically necessary or as a luxury item, are not luxuries and are, in my opinion, medically necessary. And the reason I believe that is because I know that there was a study done recently from data, CMS data from 2014, that was published in 2017 that said that a bad wound can cost about $10,000 to heal it. That does include the cost of being out of work for months. So there's the lost tax dollars, the lost revenue, in addition to the cost of that wound. Some of these devices are $4,000 to $5,000 for a standing frame. Some of them are getting more expensive than that because we have robotics involved. But the point is that they're available. The more that they're available to many people, the lower the cost would be. And so I'm tired of hearing that they're not medically necessary, or that me standing or using a specialty cushion or someone in a power chair having a standing feature on their chair is a luxury. I don't think so. I think it doesn't make sense financially, and it doesn't make sense for a multitude of reasons. So my platform is, for me personally, to physically stand whenever I can, using whatever means I can, to use my electrical stem bike to continue to keep muscle tone so that I can live a long and healthy life, continue to work, meet my grandchildren one day. So if I was chosen to be Miss Wheelchair America, I would continue to stand up for everyone with disabilities to have the technology that they need to live a healthy and productive life.
So many great speeches. We're about halfway through. And up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Kentucky, Mary Briner. Mary is from Mount Sterling, Kentucky, and describes herself as open, caring, and determined.
Go Kentucky!
Good evening. I'm here this evening with one of my dearest went through advocacy, we are all the same. And I truly believe that. We may look different on the outside, but we're all the same on the inside. We all use education in some form in our platforms, and that's where it all begins. We have to begin with education. But I want to take it a step further. There are some folks that I can educate all they want to really learn by giving them a pamphlet or a booklet, and they now have a medical idea of what my disability is, and that's all they want to know. And that's fine. That's fine. But what I think we need to do is put a face on disability, on so-called disability. I do this because, in all honesty, it's for another time, but I don't like the word disabled. If a machine is disabled, it's broken, and none of us are broken. Amen. So true. True. We're not broken. We still are able to do things. I mean, we're proving it right now. But so many people in their lives never really know someone with a disability. They see us from afar, maybe, but they don't get to know us. They don't get to sit down and talk to us. And that's what I want to see us do. Get out in the communities, talk with people, sit down with people, show them who we are, let them talk to us, get to know, oh, hey, she's the same as I am. She likes to do this and she likes to do that. Well, what's the big deal? There's no big deal. Let them see that we are human, that we can do it. Then, once I've gotten your heart, once I've gotten you in there, then the real conversations can begin. Then we can really start to talk as a whole, as a community, as a state, as a country, as a world, together to build a better world for each other. That's enlightenment. Then I've got you. Then that's the enlightenment that we need to show each other. Because I truly believe, in the end, we are all the same. We all had dreams, we had aspirations, we have goals just like everybody else, and we all deserve to go after them unimpeded. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kentucky Mary Bryant. Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Kansas, Allison Merriam. Allison is from Kansas City, Kansas, and describes herself as stubborn, resilient, and determined.
This is my companion for life. This is my husband, Brett Merriam, my high school sweetener, and I just really enjoyed having you guys this week. Thank you so much. In 2012, I was in a car accident and I sustained a C6, C7 spinal cord injury. I had always gone through the world as an able-bodied person, and all of a sudden, I had become part of the disabled community. I had no idea what that was going to mean. And I had such an ableist outlook on what my new life would be like. And I started to form my own barriers in my own head. And I remember exactly what changed my perspective on that. When I was in the hospital, I had a visit from Barney. Not the purple dinosaur, but a close friend that I've known for a long time. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a grandfather, he's also a paraplegic, but that's not what defined him, and that was not what was going to define me. People were telling me, well, you're a quadriplegic, you're going to be in a power chair, and you're going to only be able to do these certain things. Here I am, I'm going to prove you wrong. Well, we've never had somebody who wants to be a CPA who's quadriplegic. I am. I had somebody tell me that it would be easier if Brett would just leave me. We're married now. I believe that it is our opportunity to change this perspective of disability. And I think that in my platform, I would approach that in 3 ways. To begin at the beginning with children. Focusing on educating young children on the different types of disabilities. Using the child's natural curiosity to create and foster healthy relations across all disabilities. Second, to work on employer-employee relationships. To work with employers on unconscious bias, as well as value added by hiring employees with disabilities. Also, with talking to employees about their rights in the workforce. Finally, to change the overall access environment for disability needs, whether this be cognitive, mobility, sensory, or emotional. I urge everyone in this room that they have an opportunity to make a change for the positive or the better, or for the negative. Please be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you.
Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Illinois, Mary Motley. Mary is from Chicago, Illinois, describes herself as ambitious, inventive, and inspiring.
This is my companion, my mother, Pamela, who's been with me all week, helping me and supporting me. Do the thing you think you cannot do. A quote by Eleanor Roosevelt and my mantra in completing higher education. I graduated from Roosevelt University with a bachelor's and master's in clinical psychology. I created barriers in my own head out of fear. College seemed impossible. It seemed terrifying to me. And I heard many others like me expressing those same fears. It's time for, oh my gosh. I lost my space.
It's okay, Mary, you got it.
Okay.
Great, girl.
So, part of Roosevelt's motto is providing education for all human spirits. So, before I started college, I was thinking, am I smart enough? How will I pay for it? What if I fail? Are they going to have the accommodations that I need? Like I said, I created so many barriers and heard so many people like me expressing all those same things. And fear creates barriers. And it's time that colleges kind of help those barriers in solving those issues to embrace all human spirits, to include people with disabilities. As your Miss Wheelchair America, I'm committed to upholding and challenging the nation, holding higher standards in the education system. I plan on interacting with colleges around the country and look at marketing strategies, look at how we can include people with disabilities in the brochures, as well as creating better websites that showcase and list all their accommodations. And in conclusion, for people with disabilities to have a higher education, they will become contributors of society, be able to create jobs for everybody, stay out of nursing homes and other living facilities at an early age. I have within me the knowledge, the experience, and the passion to change the education system. Thank you.
Mary Motley. Pretty clear we can do everything. We should just take over the world already. Psychologists, 911 operators, mothers, wives, great-grandmothers. I mean, that's everything, right? We can do it all. Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Hawaii, Sarah Foley. Sarah's from Hawaii, yourselves as vivacious, passionate, and ambitious.
I would like to thank my mother, Christina, for always reminding me to move with my heart and calling me out when I don't. Come on. Call me out right now. On a hike one morning, I said the words out loud, "My life is perfect. There's nothing about it I would change." 4 hours later, I lay paralyzed, and my perfect life as I knew it was over. While in the hospital, my aunt leaned down to give me a hug, and I whispered in her ear, "Why?" She quickly pulled away, looked me straight in the eye, and said, "Don't you ever ask why. It will eat you alive." And answers come when they're supposed to, not necessarily when they are asked. Over the next few years, I repeated a horrible phrase: "There's no such thing as sexy in a wheelchair." I couldn't get it in my head how the two could coexist, for I had never seen it before. Once we moved to Maui, something magical happened. The mana, or Hawaiian spiritual energy for power and strength, was palpable. And I embarked on an emotional journey. I traveled through the grief of the loss of that perfect life as though a loved one had passed away. Through the grief and the loss of that perfect life, and the surrender to the idea that I was exactly where I was supposed to be, I found freedom, acceptance, and I embraced that imperfect, fulfilling life. I finally saw me. I saw dynamic, strong, empowered, creative, and I saw sexy. I discovered my why, and I crushed that old lie. As Miss Wheelchair America, I am empowered to create a life of women who are empowered to see themselves as beautiful and valuable. I am committed to spreading my message, to sit tall, stand up for yourself and others, elevate your life through your circumstances and not in spite of them, and live vertically. We are past the days of I cans of disability, and we are in the dawn of the new disability icons. And I see every one of you icons. I see you living very vertically. Thank you.
Up next, from all the way from Florida, Miss Wheelchair Florida, Siobhan Barnes. Siobhan is from Jacksonville, Florida, describes herself as strong-willed, hardworking, and ambitious.
Contrary to popular belief, this is my little brother, and he did not have a choice in life, but I do thank him for putting up with me. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, this is me. And becoming Miss Wheelchair Florida not only empowered me, but it made me an advocate for my platform, Rising Against Disabilities and Discrimination, also known as RAD, promoting awareness in the community, making the ride of life better together. Being Miss Wheelchair Florida and being Florida's rolling billboard for change, I wanted to do everything. However, as we know, I could only take on a few, so I started with education. I did this by creating an interactive disability seminar where everyone in the community would get the chance to experience what life was like for those with a disability. Then I wanted to tackle inclusiveness. I did this by going into businesses and rating them. If they had doors with push buttons, if they had lights and sounds for people that are deaf, they're doing a good job. If not, the managers and I had a talk, and we would come up with a solution. As Miss Wheelchair America, I want to continue my work, but in a bigger way. We all remember those shirts we wore in 5th grade without telling my age? The ones that said, "Dare, keeping kids off drugs"? I want rad shirts that say, "Making a ride of life better together," reminding people that we can make a change. And finally, but most importantly, is changing the language and the perception of the world. I want to do this by getting rid of all those negative things people say about us, people like me, and changing it to positive words like handy capable, words that show what we can do. Now, as we all sit here today, it's going to be really difficult to remember what we all have said, but here's what you can remember. We are capable, handy capable, and it's awesome to be rad.
I love the brother-sister duo. I have 4 brothers. Thank you, little brother, little big brother. It's so sweet of you to be here. Up next, Miss Wheelchair Connecticut, Frances Gomez. Frances is from Ashford, Connecticut, and describes herself as adventurous, outgoing, and ambitious.
Independence equals freedom and freedom equals life. That is my platform. Now take a second and imagine having limited access to personal care assistance, to public places or having limited access to obtaining necessary medical equipment due to the shortage of funds from local and federal government. Imagine having limited access to one of these things or none at all. How devastating life would be for you. For a majority of the disabled community, these things are not luxury. They are essential needs for us. Not only does not having these needs diminish our quality of life, but it also makes us be obligated to be more dependent on our family and friends to help us with our daily activities. I have been fortunate enough to receive these things with an amazing support system filled with family, friends, and caretakers. It hasn't been easy to get what I have. I had to fight and advocate for what I need. I have seen individuals with similar conditions as mine that are not that fortunate. That makes me feel like that our government is not putting people that are in need as a priority. It just makes me feel disappointed because while they are spending money on pointless things, while there are individuals and their families suffering from lack of services, with the experiences that I had through the years, the education I have received at my local college, my goal is to spread the word out about how important it is for the disabled community to be able to have access to these things without any hassle. I am in a position to advocate for the disabled and also empower them to strive for a level of independence that will provide them the freedom to self-advocate and realize their dreams. If I become Miss Wheelchair America 2019, I will be able to enforce that to more individuals all over the country and worldwide. I also will have a better opportunity to connect with local and federal government officials to show them how important personal care assistants are to many people who are physically disabled, as well as having adequate access to medical equipment. Because with these things, we are able to be as independent as possible and have an opportunity to have the freedom to live life. Remember, independence equals freedom and freedom equals life.
Next is Miss Wheelchair Colorado, Jennifer Maxwell. Jennifer is from Englewood, Colorado, and describes herself as ambitious, innovative, and funny.
Good evening. First, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce my assistant for the entire week. This is Renee Ortega. We've been working together for the past 10 years or so now, and we've gotten to know each other a lot better over the past week, so I'm really grateful for putting up with me for the past week, so thank you. So this evening, I would like to talk to you about something that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is my platform is about leveraging the power of technology to increase the quality of life for individuals with disabilities. Now, just to give you a little background, I was born with cerebral palsy, but ever since I was a little kid, I've always been a nerd. I've always been into computers and sci-fi. So growing up, I always found ways to use technology to benefit me. And nowadays, I have a degree in information technology, and I work in the accessibility field in the higher education environment. However, in working in assistive technology over the years, I've realized that so many people with disabilities don't have that same opportunity. And I'd like to take this moment to share with you a story of how I literally saw technology save a man's life. About 12 years ago now, I was working at a college in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and was consulting with our IT department to help a man who was basically in hospice, and his family had given up on him. He had advanced MS and was a complete quad, and so all he had was the use of his head. And through that, we gave him a laptop and Dragon, which is a program that he could talk to, and in those months, I saw a man go from having a terminal diagnosis to being kicked out of hospice because, in his words, well, I guess I'm not dying anymore. And so for me, that's the power I see in technology. And I take for granted that I am blessed enough to have the standing wheelchair and a phone I can talk to and a smart home that I can talk to. But if I'm elected Ms. Wheelchair America 2019, I want to share that technology and that knowledge with all people with disabilities, because as many negatives as technology has, it can change people's lives for the better in so many ways. Thank you.
Thank you.
Callie.
You would all be staring at a Birkin right now if it weren't for this beautiful woman standing beside me. She is my makeup artist, my stylist, therapist, and she is also my precious baby sister. Thank you, Robin. I am so grateful to be here and have the opportunity to speak to you all tonight about the exciting arena of entrepreneurship and disability. Show of hands, who here has had the pleasure of visiting a disabled-owned and operated business? Okay, wonderful. Entrepreneurs with disabilities are strengthening our economy and enriching communities all across our nation. Take, for example, successful deaf owners Melody and Russ of popular San Francisco-based pizzeria, Mozzeria. They had the courage to launch their business, and they have now expanded to food trucks, enabling them to hire even more employees with disabilities. According to a 2015 study by Chicagoland Entrepreneur Education for people with disabilities, if an employer with a disability hired just one employee with a disability, we could create over 2.5 million jobs per year. Entrepreneurship for people with disabilities is a pathway to financial freedom and to living the American dream. In 2013, Sheryl Sandberg released her first book, simply titled Lean In, Women, Work, and the Will to Lead. Lean In provided a simple yet profound message to women that it was our time to be seen, to be heard, and to take a seat at the head of the table. So ladies, this is our call to action. It's our turn to roll in. To roll into the classrooms, the conferences, the boardrooms, the pizzerias, wherever you can envision yourself, roll in. Because Sheryl knew what we all know here, which is there is power in inclusivity. And in the spirit of inclusivity, no hay que abrumarnos por nuestras diferentes habilidades, sino mejor hay que embadurnarnos por todas las posibilidades que ser diferentes nos brinda. Let us be unencumbered by our varying abilities and emboldened by all of our possibilities. I'll see you at the round table. Thank you.
And just in case you're wondering, those are my notes right at the bottom. I would never be able to sit in this chair and go on this booth. Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Arkansas, Keisha Pilot. Keisha's from Hot Springs, Arkansas, and describes herself as strong, sensitive, and kind.
Good evening, everyone. This is my son and sidekick, Parker Pilot. He helps me every day by being my best friend and buddy, and we work together on a lot of stuff. And as he's grown from 2 to now 8, he has become more and more aware of the needs of our disabled community. So I'm very proud of him. Hello, Parker. Very difficult to decide on a platform because all of our needs are so very different, yet all the same. We all want to be included. We all want to be active. We all want to be a part of the community. We want to be taxpayers. We want to be equal. So, if I was crowned Miss Wheelchair America, I would simply try to work with all of our state title holders to do grassroots learning from them. What is it that they need? What is it that their community needs? And how can I use that crown to help them get what they need in their states as well? We cannot do very much alone. Very rarely is success achieved alone. So I call on committees to be formed for each state for a fundraising committee, a marketing committee, and an events planning committee for each state, because that will allow our title holders to be able to make a more impact on their communities. We can't do it alone. We need your help. We need each of you. And we do not need a crown to be an advocate. Each of us advocate every day that we get out of our car with or without our sashes on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wheelchair Arkansas, Mr. Pilot. Up next, we have Miss Wheelchair Alabama, Morgan Morrison. Morgan is from Huntsville, Alabama, who describes herself as loyal, compassionate, and determined.
Good evening, everyone. This is my mother, Clara Morrison, and she has been my companion, she's been my companion and my rock and biggest cheerleader, not only this week, but my entire life. Thank you, Mother. Martina Navratilova once said, "Disability is a matter of perception. If you can do just one thing well, you're needed by someone." My platform is titled Strong, Capable, Worthy, and I have been using my platform to help change the way people with disabilities are perceived by society and for empowering those with disabilities to do the same. Aside from the challenges that people with disabilities face as far as our own bodies go, we also face challenges out in the world. And many of these challenges, like running into facilities with lack of accessibility and difficulty finding a job, all boil down to one thing: how we are viewed by society. As an advocate of the disabled community, I would like to use my platform to educate the nation about those with disabilities and show people that we are much more than our limits. You see, whether if we are deemed disabled or non-disabled, we each have our own set of limits as well as our own set of abilities. It is in this way I believe we are not so different, but there is just enough difference there to where we can learn from each other. Education and dialogue have always been the first steps to achieving equality and changing perceptions and attitudes towards certain groups. If dialogue and the way people talk about just the disabled community is shifted towards something more positive through education and shining a positive light on disability, then society will be able to see us in a more positive manner. So, to my fellow disabled brothers and sisters, I have to say this: go out into the world and be a positive light for our community. Show others what you can do, and that you're not as different as you may seem, and that there's always common ground to be found. And please always remember that you are strong, you are capable, and you are worthy. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Wheelchair Alabama, Morgan Morrison. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes speech night, but can you please join me in giving the accomplished group of women another huge round of applause? I'd like to remind everybody that you can fill out your ballot for your favorite speech, and the winner will be presented with a special award tomorrow night. Now you've heard the platforms, and all the hard work is done. I don't know about all, but the majority of it is done. So we know that you can't wait to find out which one of these amazing applicants will wear the crown next. And neither can I. I'm so excited. You can find out tomorrow night, and we hope to see you there. A couple of reminders that the People's Choice is still open for voting. Votes are $1 each, and the state title